Well, YouTube, it has been quite a minute since I made a video doing a review for you guys, and so I decided to get up off my lazy hind end and actually make a video for you guys. And this week, of course, we're reviewing probably one of my biggest, anticipated releases of this summer, and that is The Fault in Our Stars. Now, for those of you who have not, read The Fault in Our Stars, or if you don't really know what it's about, basically it's about this young teenage girl named Hazel. And she is basically living with cancer, and she's kind of like one of those downer type people. She's very negative, she isn't very outgoing, she kind of stays to herself. And so one day she meets this guy named Augustus Waters, who is a recent survivor of cancer, who's very positive, he's very outgoing, he's very out there, he loves to have fun with life, and he understands the value of life. And so she meets him, and he basically ends up changing her world, and lo and behold, they fall in love. Now, I myself read the book a couple of years ago, and by the way, John Green, who wrote A Fault in Our Stars, is a fantastic author. I recommend any of his books to you, especially Paper Towns. Paper Towns is my favorite. Looking for Alaska is probably his #1 rated book. I prefer Paper Towns more. That's just me, though. It's a personal opinion, but if you guys are looking for anything to read, I highly suggest anything by John Green. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. Now, as I said, this is actually one of my most anticipated releases, and I was super psyched for this film, and I am proud to say this film did not let me down whatsoever. I absolutely 100% enjoyed this film from start to finish. Even though I've read the book and I knew what all was coming, and I'm not going to spoil anything, so you're safe here, I knew exactly what was coming, and I still felt it. This movie is so emotional, and it does that so well. And the thing is that if you've read the book, you know it's coming, yeah, sure, but this movie has a way of hitting you on that emotional level because this deals with real life stuff. This isn't, some made up, fantasy kind of thing. Stuff like this actually happens, and this is stuff that people have to deal with, and in that regard, it's something that you really can connect with, and you really get to feel for these two characters. And the emotional pull on your heart during this movie is just so great, and I really enjoyed the way they'd done this film. I really loved how they had John Green come in to be the executive producer. I think that was the best move. I'm super psyched because they just announced Paper Towns, my favorite book of his, is actually going to be made into a movie, and I heard he's going to be back doing that one as well, and I'm so pumped for that one as well. And of course the performances, the two budding performances from Shailene Woodley and Ansel Elgort, I believe is how you pronounce his name, I'm not too sure. They play Hazel and Gus. Their chemistry on screen is absolutely phenomenal. Every scene they're in, you believe everything they're doing. Whether it's, a happy scene, whether it's a sad scene, whether it's, them just kind of like, flirting back and forth, they're great together. It is kind of weird because Ansel actually plays the brother of Shailene Woodley's character in Divergent, so it's kind of weird to see them kissing because they're lovers in one movie and brother and sister in another. It's kind of weird, but once you get past that, the relationship is beautiful. I love it. I love to see when two people really connect on screen. And I don't know if it was because they had the previous filming with Divergent, or maybe they were just just like that, the way that they were brought on to act. But they did an amazing job with these two roles. I really loved their performances, especially Shailene Woodley. She's come such a long way, and I really love seeing her on screen. She really sells her character, she sells her role so well, and I've got to say, she knocked it out of the park as Hazel Grace. I loved Ansel as Augustus Waters. I liked Nat Wolff as Isaac, surprisingly. And I was kind of on the fence about Nat Wolff just because, the Naked Brothers Band or whatever. But I gotta say, I was quite surprised with Nat Wolff. He really came through with the performance of Isaac. All the performances across the board are stellar. Another thing I really liked, and my friend, him and I kind of commented on this, was the soundtrack. It was very upbeat when it needed to be. It was very sad when it needed to be. It really played up the scenes so well, and I love it when a film does that. I love it when it utilizes the soundtrack to its fullest extent, knowing that it's supposed to play up the scene and not just distract you from the scene or not just be there at all. I love it when score and producers and everything, they can really mold the scene together, and I love how the music plays up the scenes. In pretty much in every single scene there's music involved with this movie. It does its job perfectly. I love that. And last but not least, as I said before, this is an emotional movie. You're definitely going to hear some crying in the theater, I'm sure, from all the girls that are just dying, because this essentially is a great love story. And once again, if you've read the book, you know what's coming. And even though you know what's coming, it's not like it's just a letdown or whatever. It's actually still, like I said, this is real life stuff that people deal with. This is a real life situation. it's not, you know, a true story or anything like that, but this is what people deal with. Cancer is a real thing, and there are people who suffer from it every day, and there are families who suffer from it every day. And so to see how they did this movie, it worked so well, and it was a very emotional film, and it really tugged on the heartstrings of everyone in the audience, and I think they did each and every scene well. There wasn't a scene in this movie that really I could say was bad. Every scene was done well, the acting was well, the music as well. Everything just works for this movie. Overall, I was not disappointed with Fault in Our Stars whatsoever. As I said, it was like my second highest, most anticipated film of the summer. I enjoyed it so much. I loved it. And for that, I'm going to give The Fault in Our Stars an A-. I really, really, really love this film, and I highly recommend that you guys go see it. And I recommend going and see it now because, as we all know, this upcoming Friday is none other than Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. That is my most anticipated release. I'm so pumped for that movie. I cannot wait. But go see Fault in Our Stars. I guarantee you it's going to be a good time. Fellas, take your lady friends with you, and lady friends, try not to get your dude's shirt too soaking wet with the tears. You're going to cry. I guarantee you're going to cry at some point in this film. Thank you guys so much for watching my review, and if you're new to the channel, be sure and check it out. I got plenty of content out there right now, and I got plenty more content coming along the way. Be sure to hit like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And until I see you guys next time, I'm Joker777, and I'll see you guys later.